Hi everybody. We're looking at yesterday's tours, and today is Genesis 26, verse 6, and we go up to 23. Includes both of them.
Mm.
Uh, Hallelujah. Praise you. Verse 6. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. A man of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, "She is my sister." Can you remember yesterday, or the day before, we said that there was a famine in the land, and he had to go to a place to live where the Philistines were. Yeah. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, "She is my sister." For he feared to say, "She is my wife," lest the men of the place would kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, the son of the Philistines, looked at the window and saw, and behold, Isaac sporting with Rebekah his wife.
Yeah, can I just say, did it say the son or Melech? Melech, Abimelech, Melech, Philistine.
A long time, in fact, Abimelech, king of the Philistines.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Behold, assuredly she is thy wife. How saidst thou, She is my sister?" And Isaac said unto him, "Because I said, lest I die for her."
Mm. Can I just say that word sporting?
Yeah.
Is actually rooted in the word Yitzhak. It's metzachech. So it means
Laughter.
laughing and
Yeah.
giggling, and there is also
Isn't it lovely
an
when you see a couple do
innuendo.
that?
No, what is it? Is it euphemism? There's a euphemism with it as well. Yeah.
And Abimelech said, "What is this that thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us." Here we got a Philistine king talking righteousness.
Yes.
Yeah. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, "He that toucheth this man's wife shall surely be put to death." And Isaac sowed in the land, and received in the same year 100-fold. And Yahuwah baruched him. Hallelujah. What do you think about this?
I've got to point out that Abimelech had a covenant with Abraham.
Yeah, he did.
He had a covenant with Abraham for peace. And it says in the commentary that it wasn't actually Abimelech himself that had a problem. It was the residents.
Yet Yahuwah blessed Isaac, and he reaped 100-fold.
Yeah, because it says, Abimelech said, "What is that you have done to us? Nearly has he lain one of the people." He weren't talking about himself.
Yeah.
He already had this covenant with Abraham. So obviously that then there's a lot of respect between him and Yitzhak on account of that covenant.
And the man, Isaac, waxed great, and went forward, and grew until he became very great. For he had possessions of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him.
Yeah.
For all their wells, which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them up with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, "Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we." Yitzhak departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. Isaac digged again wells of waters, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley, and found there a well of springing water.
Of Maim Chayim, living water.
And the herdsmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esketh, because they strove with him.
It's Esek.
Esek, sorry.
Esek.
And they digged another well and strove for that also, and he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, For now Yahuwah have made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land.
Yeah, that it just goes to there, loving.
Yeah.
So Rehoboth is wide open. Sitna. Just want to have a quick look at what the origin of that word is, because sit is actually Satan.
Sitnah, 21.
It's shin tav nun here. So it's actually like a feminine version
Hatred.
of Satan.
Hatred
Satan,
I've got here.
accuser.
Yeah, this has got
They
hatred.
quarrelled. Yeah, I mean the word the water of Asek, the well named Asek.
Yeah.
It was because they hit Asku, contended. So
Contention.
He
Contention.
called the name contention. So it paralleled that name, but it says they dug another well and they quarrelled. Where Yarivu Gam Aleha, also over that. So he called Shama, its name in the feminine, Sitna. But that is actually, it's not quarrelling. So it makes you wonder whether quarrelling is of Satan.
Well, listen to this.
They dug another well and quarrelled. Let's just have a look at the Hebrew for this.
That's Esek, is it?
No, this is verse 21. The word is they quarrelled, and that word is Weyarivu. Let me just pick it up, what it is in the Hebrew.
Yeah.
21. Oops, I've just gone past it. I just want to have a look at the root of the word for quarrelled, and they strove, reeve, like Meriva, the waters of Meriva, the waters of strife. So this is the waters of Meriva, the waters where they've strived, contended, even physically, to conduct a case or suit, to make a complaint, to quarrel, to contend against. It's in 67 times. Reeve, primarily root, grapple, wrangle, hold a controversy, adversary, chide, complain, contend, debate, plead, rebuke, strive. However, he doesn't call the well striving like he called the well Asek, because they had hit Asku. They had contended. He called the well the name contention because they had contended. It's exactly the same root. Asek and it Asku have got exactly the same root. However, here the root is to reeve, to contend, like the waters of Meriva, where the children of Israel were complaining.
Yeah.
But he didn't call the name like that. He didn't call it quarrelling or striving. He called it Satan. He called that place, that well, Satan.
Yeah.
It's the root of the word is Satan. So if I go and have a look at Sitna, it's the feminine for Satan.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Yeah, amazing. It's really...
If I show you here, look, and they digged also a well, Sitna. Look at if I go to there, Sitna, strife, Sitna, the same as the root word.
Yeah.
But that is Satan. It's look at the root word, Satan, adversary, superhuman adversary, Satan, shin, tav, nun.
Okay. So look.
Sorry, shin tet nun, shin tet nun.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that you see quarrelling,
Yeah.
striving, pursuing somebody in court. This is Satan. You're doing the work of Satan. You know, there's a indication, so you know, like quarrelling between man and wife. This is very common. Bickering,
Yeah.
quarrelling, rivalry, waters of strife. Guess what? That well, where they did that, was called Satan. Satan's well.
Well, Isaac became very prosperous.
Yeah, he did.
And Amalek said, there's not enough room in this land and you are greater than us.
Yeah.
So in the time of famine, Isaac went there.
Yeah.
And with how many years he was there, he became greater than the natural people of the land. Yeah. And Abimelech said, there's not enough room for us. For he had possessions of flock, possession of herds, and great store of servants. Now that the word servants there, it says husbandry in English. I don't know what it says in Hebrew. But he's become a gardener in whole sense of English. He became a great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. Now they were dwelling together, like you said, saying these people were dwelling together, and Abimelech said, leave us, for all the wells which his father had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. Yeah, interesting, because if you look at the name of the wells in order, it goes living, contention, hatred, and room. Something happened here in this. He struck living water in the first well. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was then contention at the second well. There was hatred at the third well. But at the fourth well, there was room for everybody.
I think there was just 3 wells, were there not?
No, 4.
They found a well of spring water and they quarrelled, the husbands. And this is our water, so they called that name Yitzhak, because they contended with him. Dug another well and they quarrelled over that, so they called it Sitna. He relocated from there and dug another well and called its name Rehavot. So there were 3 wells, love.
Well, in verse 19 it says, and Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water.
Yes.
Yeah. And the herdsmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's servants, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Yitzhak. So you're right, the first one was called Yitzhak, and it was contention, but the contention was over living water.
Yeah, it says, it actually does say that they quarrelled there as well, were Yorivu,
Yeah.
the herdsmen, the shepherds of Gerar,
Yeah.
with the shepherds of Isaac, saying, ours is the water.
Yeah.
Lanu Hamayim.
I'm saying
Ours is this water.
I'm saying that they did argue, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Over living water.
Yes, I was thinking this.
Yeah,
That's the only well where he actually says there's living water, and the people are saying that water is ours.
But they'd already, and they filled it in.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they were saying it was ours. So, you know, people often contend something when they've let it slip that it belongs to them, but they're not actually living in it. Yeah? So if somebody picks up something you've let slip, you can have contention. By heck, they're living in the revelation I used to have. Yeah? And if they're doing well, what does it bring forth? A contention. Yeah? And if it does really well, what does it do then? It brings forth hatred. But if it keeps going and there's enough revelation that there's room, yeah, that there's room, if the living water actually keeps multiplying, it can make room for even those that hate you. That's what I saw in that. That's what I pulled out of that.
Yeah.
And why did they hate them? Because Abimelech obviously offered them food and water, because there was famine in the land and Isaac had to get out. But you hear they prospered in the Philistines' land more than the Philistines and became greater than they did. And then we have this abundance of water. And the servants of Abimelech, the Philistines, had let this well slip and they'd filled it in. And they drew living water at this first well. This first was Yitzhak, and it became a contention that it belonged to them. And then they found another well, and he called that hatred because the contention got even worse. But when they found the third well, what was the name of that? Rehoboth. And he said, for now Yahuwah have made room for us, and we shall, here's a statement. Can we say this? We shall be fruitful in the land.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I just say this? First of all, it mentions, doesn't it? He originally opened the wells up that the Philistines had blocked up, that his father had dug in the days of Abraham. His servants must have dug them. And it says, and he originally called them the names, like the names that had been called them by his father. Okay, so it says here.
Do you think the names were changed then?
He had to change the names. He changed the names.
Why did he have to change the name?
Because of what had happened at those wells.
Well, guess where he went afterwards?
I don't know. Can I just read this? Because this is very interesting.
Yeah.
It says, the prophetic dispute over the wells, the commentators note that there must be reasons why the Torah relates the seemingly trivial incidents of the wells in such detail, following the thesis that the experience of the patriarchs as signposts of Jewish history. The three wells of this passage correspond to three temples. The two that are destroyed, and the eternal one yet to be built. The first well, named Yitzhak, or contention, alludes to the first temple, which fell victim to strife of the nations that finally destroyed it. The second well, Sitna, or enmity, a harsher name than Yitzhak, like Satan, alludes to the second temple period when the enmity of Israel's enemies was longer lasting and more virulent. It was really, it weren't destroyed by Romans, which the guardian angel of the Romans, according to Jewish teachings, is Satan. So that would correspond. The third well, Rehoboth, or spacious, alludes to a future temple, the era when strife and enmity will be things of the past. This Rehoboth was, I used to go to the very first synagogue that I ever attended. It was called Beit Rehoboth,
right?
The house of wide open spaces.
Well, praise you.
And it was a messianic synagogue. Let's hope that that's somehow a prophetic vision for the temple to come. Beit Rehoboth, when Jews and believers in Yeshua, when we can be united. You know, Joseph and Yehuda together. So that's quite a good thought.
Made room for us, we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to 7 wells. Beersheba.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, he had plenty of wells in his own land, yet in a way he's walked away blessing again these Philistines with wells, as his father did before him.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, with that we'll say shalom.
Yeah, love and blessings.
Shalom.
Shalom.